Have you ever been so hungry that even stale bread smelled like heaven? That's what desperation does. It doesn't just knock at your door, it barges in, rearranges your priorities, and whispers, take anything, just survive. And in that survival mode, discernment, that wise inner voice that usually helps you sift the real from the fake, the gold from the glitter, goes quiet. Take Lara for example. She had lost her job, rent was due, her younger brother's school fees were hanging over her head, and her phone screen looked like a battlefield. Alerts from creditors, emails with rejection letters, and a silence from everyone she thought would show up. Then came the message, hey, I have a business you can plug into, fast money, no experience needed. It was from an old secondary school classmate who had barely spoken to her in years. In a clearer state of mind, Lara would have asked questions. She would have quizzed. She would have Googled, done her research. She would have read the fine print. But when you are desperate, red flags look like roses. So she jumped in. 3 weeks later, the business turned out to be a glorified pyramid scheme. Our savings, what was left of it, gone. Our pride, even more so. You see, desperation makes anything look like destiny. It magnifies short term relief and minimizes long term risk. That's why people fall into unhealthy relationships, toxic jobs, fraudulent investment, and manipulative friendships, not because they are foolish, but because they are desperate. And when you're desperate, your standards slip. You settle, you over explain, you ignore your gut. You think, maybe this is all I deserve. But let's be honest, haven't we all been there? Maybe it wasn't a scam. Maybe it was staying in a situationship that drained you just because you were tired of being alone, or saying yes to a job that paid below your worth because unemployment was beginning to feel like failure, or pouring into friendships that only took give me, give me, give me, give me, because you feared being forgotten. In those moments, the sentiment is still there, but it is muffled, like a friend shouting from the end of a long tunnel. You cannot hear it clearly because the noise of your need is louder. So what do? You pause. Yes, even in the middle of the panic, you breathe. Because clarity is born in stillness, not in struggle. You give yourself permission to want more, not just urgently, but wisely. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is wait. In waiting, you gain speed. Waiting until the emotion cools off as well. Waiting until the fog lifts. Waiting until you can ask, is this truly for me? Or is this just rescuing my panic? Discernment isn't always loud. It rarely fights for attention, but it is consistent and it will show up again and again. When you slow down long enough to listen, it will show up. So the next time you feel like you're drowning and someone throws a rope, ask yourself, is this a lifeline or a leash? Because not everything that promises escape is freedom, and not every door is worth entering, especially when it is only opened because you were knocking out of desperation, not direction. And tread carefully. Be discerning, but wise. Do not be in haste. Your time will come. Do not be in haste. For everything there is a time and there is a season. Be discerning, be as the children or as the sons of Issachar. Also take up time to pray. Pray long hours in the spirit. It helps us sensitize our spirit